Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Cafe Improv for June of 2021. We got some big news. The big news is that we're going to be live in July 24th. Live. Cafe Improv is coming back in front of people. We're going to be live outside at Heinz Plaza. That's next to the library at 2 p.m. on July 24th. That's this year, 2021. So come on in and hang out and watch the show and do it. And we're going to have some great performers coming who are all signed up. I believe I won't go through the list, but they're on the website, cafeimprov.com. So come on down. That's Saturday, July 24th at 2 p.m. It's going to be in the daytime. And then we're going to do the regular shows starting in August. But today we're going to show clips from past shows, and like we've been doing for the last many months. But we're going to start this show off with a clip from 2019. One of the best and greatest and most celebrated and actually wildest personalities from all over New Jersey is Mike Agranoff. He has been affiliated with the North Jersey Folk Project forever, and he's a tireless folk singer, and but he's also he's got a great voice. He's a great player. He's a great storyteller, and he's been doing all sorts of stuff like that. So here he is from 2019, June of 2019. I'm going to read his little thing here. Mike Agranoff's material encompasses traditional ballads and tunes, Tin Pan Alley, contemporaries of the folk world, heart-stopping spoken pieces, and his own witty pen. It's delivered with skillful guitar and concertina accompaniment, a telepathic transmittal of essence of the song, and a sly twinkle in the eye for some truly hilarious songs. He's released a whole bunch of CDs. Here he is, Mike Agranoff.
Yeah. Do I look like a folk singer or what? I am just a folkie, and my song is seldom heard, for I cannot sing the tune and keep forgetting all the words. That's not unusual. But I try my best, and I play the 3 chords that I know and disregard the rest. Asking only gas and free beer, I come looking for a gig, but I get no offers. Just a rip-off from this bar on 7th Avenue. He told a tale after 6 nights at 3 sets a night, he'd pay me without fail. And the check was in the mail. All together now, Lila lies, plural. Lila, 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 lies, lila, lies, lila, 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 lies. So I left the bars and the coffee house, feeling no more than annoyed, and I come to play for strangers on the corners, streets, and subway stations, anywhere. They might go for the nickels, dimes, and quarters that the harried people throw, playing Dylan songs or something they might know. Harmonica got stuck. In the kitchen sits a folkie, a songwriter by his trade, and he tries to do his taxes on the money he ain't made on singing protest songs against the war, or that Simon and Garfunkel stuff that folks don't sing no more. And he asks himself, what do I do it for? Why? 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 Thank you. This, by the way, device here I think had its origins in the Spanish Inquisition as a device to pull men's beard hairs out one at a time, and it's terrible. Oh. Hi, I'm Mike Agranoff, and I'm a singer-songfinder. And this is a song that I found that's just one of the best damn story songs I ever heard. It's written by a fellow by the name of Andrew Lawrence. It's called Deeper Waters. When Jacob was born back in 22, seemed he already had chores to do. Bound to his farm like the blue tattoo burned into his arm. Never had nothing but a patch of land that he worked himself with his one son Randy. Truth be told, weren't worth a damn. Little matchbook of a farm. Jacob made sure Randy went to school, but the kid learned more from a plow and a mule. Reckon we're sharp as your average fool, either one would claim. Randy went away for about a year, thought he could find him a fine career. But all he found was a chance to hear something call him by his name. Call him home, where his fingers and his toes know the ground. Home to the barking and the scrambling of the hounds. Home where your white oak grows and Cold Creek flows into deeper waters. Randy never known his father to complain, except for falling prices and the lack of rain. But lately he'd been talking about the constant pain, trying to slow him down. Then one day on the upper hill, Randy found his pa fallen deathly ill, lying quiet but breathing still, so he drove him into town. Checked him in a hospital late at night, put him in a room with fluorescent light. Folks come around all dressed in white to plug him to machines. Couldn't have a drink, and couldn't smoke, and cursed him to hell every hole they'd poke, till he hardly ever woke, set to working in his dreams. Back to home, where the years were laid like crops in a row. Home, where his garden needs a lesson from a hoe. Home, with his friends and kin, storms rolling in over deeper waters. Then a couple of days become a couple of weeks. Randy saw his pa getting thin in the cheeks, spent like a stalk when they stripped away the corn. Randy lay awake late into night, knowing that the whole thing just weren't right, knowing Jacob ought to die where he was born. So Randy parked the pickup by the rear door, found an empty gurney on the second floor, slipped by the nurse when he was sure that Jacob was alone. Kept talking soft in his father's ear, says you're all right now, nothing more to fear. Gonna get you out of here, you got chores to do at home. Back in his woods around a quarter mile, Jacob seemed aware for a little while, and he could have sworn that he'd seen him smile before he passed along. Cops come by at the break of day, but no one round here had a word to say. Nothing but a prayer to pray, sending Jacob's spirit on. Back to home, where he's harvesting the seeds that he'd sown. Home, where his maker gladly gathers in his own. Home, when we're poured one day from pots of clay into deeper waters. Thank you. Andy Breckman, brilliant writer. No, not Andy, Auntie Lawrence. Next song is by Andy Breckman. This is actually, it's not. This is an old traditional folk song about a great old traditional folk hero named Railroad Bill. Excuse me, that's not close enough for folk. Yeah. Now, Railroad Bill was a hard-living man, used to take his women two at a time. And everybody said he was the baddest engineer ever drove for the Illinois line. His name was known from the folks back home to the tippy top of Telegraph Hill. And all the little kids, when they were sneaking cigarettes, they used to dream about Railroad Bill. Now, one fine day, Bill was walking along when he saw a kitten stuck in a tree. When he saw it wasn't matter, he ran to get a ladder to set that kitty cat free. And Bill says, no, ain't gonna do that. Ain't gonna climb in no tree. It's a stupid, stupid song. No folk singer gonna make a damn fool out of me. Wait, that's not, that can't, wait a minute. That can't be right. One fine day, Bill was walking along, saw a kitten stuck in a tree. Saw it, wasn't matter, ran to get a ladder to set that kitty cat free. And Bill says, no way, ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do what you said. It's a stupid, stupid song as far as I'm concerned. That cat could stay there till it's dead. And I said, wait a minute, Bill, you can't argue with me, for Christ's sake. I just made you up. I am the author, I tell you. I want you up in that tree, and I want that cat on stock. Bill says, no. Hate cats. Ain't gonna climb for no cat. Why don't you have me save a beautiful girl who's been tied to the railroad track? And I said, well, maybe there'll be room for that in the 8th or 9th verse. But now, right now, I want you up in that tree. I'm the writer, goddamn, I got the pen in my hand, and I want you to listen to me. Ha, listen to you, says Bill, listen to you. Why should I listen to you? You should listen to me instead. 'Cause I'm a railroad man, and if I was real, I'd separate your face from your head. And I said, why, you ungrateful brute, you've pushed me too far. I'll show you as I can do as I please. Just then an earthquake came and shook the whole terrain and brought Railroad Bill to his knees. And then a tidal wave broke and everything got soaked, and Railroad Bill got almost completely washed away. And then a great big green monster from the planet Neptune came down and bit Railroad Bill in the leg. I got the pen in my hand. Do what I want. I'm a bright young talent on the rise. So get your ass up that tree, or I swear you ain't getting out of my folk song alive. You don't scare me. You may be funny, but you don't scare me, because if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to tell everybody where you stole this melody. But before he could speak, his tongue fell out. and he could not make a sound. But then he jumped up on top of me, and he grabbed me by the throat, and he pulled me down to the ground, and he punched me in the stomach, punched me in the face real hard. I think he almost broke my nose. Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a lightning bolt came in right between the eyes and killed him instantly. The cat came down from the tree, had a bowl of warm milk, and went to sleep for the night. Railroad bill is survived by a wife and 3 small children. Dear God, I love to write. Sorry, you got away from me there. Yeah, shorten that a little. Yeah. Good catch, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. Now I'm going to step out on a limb here. The English concertina is generally known to play fiddle tunes. So I'm going to play you an old German fiddle tune by an old German fiddler named Johann Sebastian Bach. This is the Preludio from his 3rd partita. I'm getting a low-end ring here, if you can take the bottom down some. This is the Preludio from his 3rd partita for unaccompanied violin. And this is the one that all the hotshot classical violinists use for their solo encore piece, generally ripped out around warp 7. I can only manage warp 4, warp 4.2, something like that, but it's still pretty quick and not entirely reliable. So there may be a train wreck in my future. Wish me luck. The Preludio. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to tell you a story. Very unusual story. It's a story with a chorus, which you will learn, but it only comes around once. It's a very unusual chorus. So I have to teach it to you. And the chorus goes, "Sit down, George, you're rocking the boat." No. Remember the picture that was up on the classroom wall? There's these 47 guys in a boat built for 12, and they're fending off icebergs and rocks with poles, and the water's coming in, and there's this guy standing up at the back looking heroic. What do you tell him? That's more like it. This is a true story from history. So, you think she knows all about history? You know all that stuff? Have you learned all that stuff back in school? Well, them bookworms, they don't know nothing. And if you thinks they does, you's a fool. I'll tell you how it all happened. When me and George Washington saw how to cross the Delaware River and turn the tide of the war. It was coming up right around Christmas, the year 1776, and us glorious Patriot Army was all in a terrible fix. We'd been chased all the way down through Jersey and found ourselves, would you believe, across the Delaware River from Trenton, which is no place to spend Christmas Eve. But we figured we'd have us a party, what with a long weekend and all. We get us some chips and a six-pack, have us a regular ball. So we sent Colonel Knox to the Pathmark to pick up the pretzels and brew. But the Pathmark was closed, kind of Christmas. Says George, now what do we do? Charlie Lee says, did you try Philadelphia? Says George, you out of your head. Nothing happens in Philly the rest of the year, and Christmas is going to be dead. We was all set to give up and watch football when I gets me this brilliant idea. The Hessians is over in Trenton. They're German. They got to have beer. We all looked around at each other, made a mad dash to put on hats and coats, went charging out in the snowdrifts, yelling, "To Trenton, men! Head for the boats!" And the vision of imported brewski brought a smile to old George's face as he led us to Washington's Crossing, which seemed an appropriate place. Well, he shoved off in these leaky old rowboats he rented for $2 cash. George was half in the bag when he started. He was a general. He had his own stash. He stood up like some freaking statue with his tricorn hat and blue coat shouting, "Onward to Trenton and victory!" A lot of people in this boat. Well, it must have been 0 dark 30 by the time we all got across. So George leased us eastbound to Trenton, which was south of us. So we got lost. So he stops this all-night Sunoco. "Hey, which way to Trenton? How far?" "Oh, you hang it right at the 7-Eleven. Air traffic lights. There you are." It was dawn when we got to the city. Rang the doorbell outside the wall, and whose face should appear at the peephole? The boss German himself, Colonel Rawl. "Who's there this hour of the morning? What are you guys doing here?" "We heard you was having a party, and we thought we could borrow some beer." Rawl was not in the mood to be generous. He had a head just like a balloon. They'd been all getting pie-eyed on Pilsner since 4 o'clock last afternoon. So he told us some bad things in German and slammed the door in our face where we stood. So we let's go with our cannon and figured to do his hangover some good. Well, Rawl gets together his troopers, at least them he can get out of bed, with one hand waving his saber and the other hand holding his head. And as for us, we'd been marching since nightfall till we was all weak in the knees, and we hadn't seen booze since Thanksgiving, and half of us had the DTs. So, what a terrible battle. You know, what a pitiful sight. The Germans so tight they couldn't shoot straight, us so straight we couldn't shoot right. So we filled all the fence posts with bullets, and we filled all the morning with smoke, fired off cannon and musket till every last window in Trenton was broke. When suddenly, down from the courthouse, "Ah, guys, let's go!" this big cheer. With heroic effort and battle, they'd seized the entire reserves of their beer. And that put an end to the Hessians, and back to New York they went creeping, because once you run out of brewski, there ain't nothing in Trenton worth keeping. And that was the very beginning when the Germans all cried, "Das ist alles," of the British reversal that ended in Yorktown with General Cornwallis. And we threw us a bender that lasted well into sometime next year, floating up to our eyeballs in gallons of good German beer. And that's how it happened. Well, thank you so much. My name's Mike Agranoff. I have some CDs out there. If you would like to see me perform sometime, I also have a mailing list out there, which I would be more than happy if you would sign, and I will send you emails letting you know where I'm playing. But in order so I can code my mailings geographically and not send you notices of my, gigs in South Florida and Bolivia and wherever, I put down your postal address as well as your email. I'll finish this off. With one of the all-time great anthems in the folk repertoire. My all-time favorite folk singer ever, Stan Rogers. Who needs an electronic tuner? Mary Ellen Carter, sing it if you know it, and learn it if you don't. Come on, let's get that right. 2, 3, 4, 5. She went down last October in pouring, driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking and the maid, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock and she was dealt her mortal blow. And the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There were just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We'd worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down, it caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter would rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and then met her sorry end. But insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. And they laughed at us, said we'd have to go. But we talked of her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 floating at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain. Make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again. Rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end would make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Well, all spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we patched her rents, stopped her vents, dogged hatch and porthole down, put cables to her fore and aft and girded her around. And tomorrow noon we hit the air and then take up the strain. Watch the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again. Rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end would make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, a living through the gale. Laughing drunken rats that left her to her sorry grave. Oh, they won't be laughing in another day. And you, to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, oh, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, like the Mary Ellen Carter. Rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken, your life about to end. No matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter. Rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken, her life about to end. No matter what you've lost, be it home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter. Rise again. Thank you so much. Come see me in the back for CDs and mailing list.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Cafe Improv. Please come on down to see us July 24th in the heart of Princeton, Heinz Plaza, outside, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a Saturday. Come on down and see us. We're going to be having fun. It's going to be live music. Cafe Improv is coming back. We're going to have real people. So I'm going to tell you that our next act is called Wally Lauder. And Wally only came in here one time. He only played one time. He had this great CD and had a great song that he's going to play in the set called She's Fading Away. Wally's music from 2002, it says, is more varied than contemporary folk. His music contains elements of rock, pop, and jazz, world music, and country as well. He's got a website, wallylauder.com. It was still active a couple of years ago, so I haven't checked it recently, but he's still kicking around. Here he is from 2002, the one and only time he ever played at Cafe Improv, Wally Lauder.
Thanks. I was here once, actually, a number of years ago, not playing, and it wasn't Cafe Improv. It was for an event here. It was a summer night, and it was equally hot. So this is a good song, I think, for a summer night, a summer day in Princeton. You ask me why I love you. To me, it's quite clear. I could say it's the way I feel whenever you are near. I could say it's in your voice when you speak so fiery sweet. Oh, the way that you quote Shakespeare when we're walking down the street. I could say many things, but it's your sundress. I love your sundress. It's your sundress. I love your sundress. Who needs black and slinky or a plunging neckline? Who needs jewels and makeup? I just need the sun to shine. I could say many things, but it's your sundress. I love your sundress. It's your sundress. I love your sundress. Nature is exploding to the power of the sun. Flowers, they are bursting, go and put that sundress on. I could say it's your skin so soft, or the color of your hair. I could say it's in your laugh, or a freckle here and there. I could say it's in your voice when you speak so fiery sweet, or the way that you quote Shakespeare when we're walking down the street. I could say many things, but it's your sundress. I love your sundress. I want to undress your sundress. Your sundress. Your sundress. Thanks. Well, today, if you're not going to see sundresses today, I don't think you would see them. So hopefully we'll see many more of them for the next couple of months. So if you didn't catch it, I don't have a sign to hang up. That was a good idea.
Well, we got it on the bottom. Over on the screen.
Great.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to put your website on.
Well, my name's Wally Lauder, which will soon be on the screen for you watching on cable. I do have a website, wallylauder.com. It's great to be here. I'd like to thank Bob for playing before me, and thank everybody for organizing this event. It's great to be here. Thanks. I've been feeling, this is one of my newest songs, more appreciative lately, just little things, and this is a song about that. Joe's not going to work today. He packed a bag and climbed on board a train. He had a revelation. He looks at hills and trees and plains. His eyes are filled with a bigger kind of sky. Revelation. Could it be so simple? Jill picks up the telephone, calls a friend she hasn't seen in years. She had a revelation. Long ago they had a riff, but that doesn't mean a thing right now. Revelation. Could it be so simple? Isn't it the only day that dawns is the one to which we are awake? George sits in his favorite chair, picks up his cat and holds her to his heart. He had a revelation. Looks out the window at the maple tree, the one that's been there since before he was born. revelation. Could it be so simple? Isn't it the only day that dawns is the one to which we are awake? I saw her sleeping there. She had a faint smile on her pretty face. I had a revelation. 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 Thank you. There we go. I'm facing a little bit more of everybody here. Everything I'm doing tonight are my own tunes. Several of them are on my CD, which is here, or you can look at my website. This next one is too. And this one was inspired by a visit to a restaurant. Restaurants are great places for people watching. And if I could do nothing but go to restaurants and write songs, that would be a nice life. But it doesn't quite work that way, but they're good inspiration. So this one was an image I saw, and the rest was pretty much fantasy. It's a story about love and Alzheimer's. And while it's sad in some ways, I hope it's mostly a hopeful song about just how strong love can be. It's called She's Fading Away. She's fading away. She's not coming back, no. She's fading away. And he's reaching out. He wants to touch him, but she's fading away. They've been together now for nearly 50 years. They've known each other through it all. And she's getting forgetful. She only knows him once in a while. And he's hurting inside. He wants her to give him one knowing smile. They've been together now for nearly 50 years. They've known each other through it all. And he's humming a tune they knew long ago when they were young. And she's humming along. She She remembers those nights when they were young. They've been together now for nearly 50 years. They've known each other through it all. And he holds out his hand. They're starting to dance like they were young. And she's going on a journey. She's not coming back, so he's going along. And they're dancing, dancing while they can. Yes, they're dancing along.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, hello to you out there in cable land as well. This is actually a moment, perhaps beyond this moment. This moment is being captured and videoed, also in a signal. You never know if generations, many generations hence, people will be looking at this particular video as a typical night of the early millennium, whatever century this would be called. Most of my songs come from personal experience. Sometimes I like to take a little poetic license. Guess you can use your own judgment for this one. I woke up early one morning, rolled out of bed, bleary-eyed as can be. Went downstairs and there in my kitchen were Buddha and Jesus waiting for me. Buddha and Jesus were there at my table. They were just waiting for me. I said, "Hello guys, this is quite a surprise. Can I get you some coffee or maybe herb tea?" As you can imagine, I was full of questions. What was their take on history? With all of the preaching about what they were teaching, what did they really mean? I heard voices in the next room, went out to see what it could be. Many faces, strangely familiar, and Mohammed and Moses were waving at me. Joan of Arc was looking dramatic. Rumi and Kabir were getting ecstatic. Kuan Yin, Mary, and some Amazon queen were chanting up a reverie. As you can imagine, I was full of questions. What was their take on history? With all of the preaching about what they were teaching, what did they really mean? Can't say there was a revelation to transform future generations, but for just one moment, one sweet, sweet moment, I like to tell this story now and then. It could happen to you if it happened to me. And if Buddha and Jesus are there at your table, just get them some coffee or maybe herb tea. Thank you. That happened to me I think it was just like a week or two ago. So. This one, which probably will be my last one unless it ends up quicker than I thought, is another one based on true experience. And really, honest to God, is based on true experience, but might have let my imagination run just a little with it. I have a few songs about my neighbors. One of the advantages of being a songwriter, sometimes you can write songs about your neighbors. There's a groundhog living beneath my shed, and my neighbor wants to see it dead. She thinks it's a nuisance, she thinks it's a pest, she thinks it's going to make her garden a mess. She wants me to get rid of it soon, but I don't want to see it off to its doom. She waits in a yard with a shovel in her hand, she'll whack it on the head if she can. Run, groundhog, run if you can. Run from the woman with the shovel in her hand. Run to your home under my shed, 'cause my neighbor wants to see you dead. Recently one starry night, while the groundhog was asleep, he stirred inside his little den and had himself a dream. He dreamed my neighbor was in her yard. He came across her and he gave her a start. She reached for a shovel, but in between there were 10 groundhogs looking angry and mean. Turned the other way to run for the door, but there were 10 groundhogs, that's right, 10 more. They don't eat meat, but they were gnashing their teeth. They could put her underground and wait a few weeks. Run, neighbor woman, run if you can. Run from the renegade groundhog band. Run down the street, run out of town, 'cause those groundhogs don't wanna see you around. There's a groundhog living beneath my shed, and my neighbor wants to see it dead. She thinks it wants to eat her greens, but the groundhog has other dreams. The groundhog has other dreams. The groundhog has other dreams. He has other dreams. The groundhog has other dreams. Thanks very much.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Cafe Improv. We're coming back. We're coming back July 24th in Heinz Plaza. Come and see us live. Meanwhile, we're rolling down the hits from various years in June of Cafe Improvs. So here we have from 2003, Lynn Rosenthal, a really powerful and great performer. She plays guitar and Native American flute. And she only played here that one time. I think she's still kicking around, still performing. She is inspired by the power of the chant and recitation, giving verbal impression to buried emotional truths, evoking reminiscence of Carole King and Joni Mitchell. So here she is from June of 2003, a really great performance by Lynn Rosenthal.
Thank you. I don't have a mic. Let's try with the mic. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, this first song I'm going to play is called Force of Nature. I know you're a heartbreaker, but I can't help myself. Do my best to stay away, resist temptation, but instead I walk the line. When the earthquake hits, the fault is mine. You are my moving earth, my force of nature. As you open up, then I can see there's no escaping you, escaping me. And I don't care what consequence it brings. You're my force of nature. I know you're no good for me, but I can't help myself. Do my best to stay away, resist temptation, but in the warmth and heat of you, into the flames I go home. You are my wildfire, my force of nature. Light my way so I can see there's no escaping you, escaping me. And I don't care what consequence it brings. Like so many things, I'll pay for it later. Drawn to you as moth to flame, can't go back, no one to blame. Surely I'll feel the heat later. You're my force of nature. I see my foolish ways, but I can't help myself. Do my best to stay away, resist temptation. You are my hurricane, my force of nature. Sweep me up and out to sea. There's no escaping you, escaping me. And I don't care what consequence it brings. Like so many things, I'll pay for it later. Drawn to you as tied to shore, a taste of you and I want more. later. You're my force of nature. I know you're no good for me, but I can't help myself. Do my best to stay away, resist temptation, but again you soak me through, and willingly I drown in you. You are my driving rain, my force of nature, from sky to earth and back again. I hope this crazy rain will never end, and I don't care what consequence it brings. Like so many things, I'll pay for it later. Drawn to you as rain to sea, there's no escaping you, escaping me. 'Cause you're my force of nature. How many times I'm in the storm to know that when it comes to you, you're my force of nature. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here tonight. Thanks for sticking around, and let me do another song for you. I'm part of a songwriter circle, or a couple of them, and I attend some open mics regularly. I'm going to check out Spook's open mic. And this next song is a songwriting challenge from one of those open mics, where we each had to come up with a title, and we had a week to write a song. This particular song I came up with the title for. It was inspired by a giant painting of a ham at a beach reading a book. It's the miracle of art. And so it was very surreal, and so I came up with this title, Salvador Dollywood. Here we go. I awoke from my conscious slumber as I lay down to sleep. You know, sometimes this waking life isn't all it's cracked up to be. So I meet the two Harlequins inside my mirage, and I found Frank Zappa there, still inside Joe's garage. And I'm sure Salvador Dali would appreciate my dreams. Fascinating, captivating. If only my waking life could be this vivid and surreal. How daylight hours weave the endless enigma every night in my head. These dreams are my still life, fast moving as I paint my symphony in red. Oh, 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 oh. I need to slay this musical tempest before my cruise crucifixion, the clock explosion, deconstruction, in a bathtub full of gin. In a bathtub full of gin. And I'm sure Salvador Dali would appreciate my dreams. Fascinating, captivating. If only my waking life could be this vivid and surreal. I am the figure standing at a window, gazing out on patient lovers, and up above them I see the apparition of the face of Aphrodite, and the rose floating in a clear blue sky. Up ahead in the distance I see the metamorphosis of Narcissus, and the broken bridge and the dream. Thank you. I think I'm going to do one more on guitar, and then I'll switch over. I think maybe, what should I play? I've got a new one. I'll play the new one. This is called Save Me. I grew up learning fairy tales of dragons and princesses, convincing myself of the life I need to have. All the while I've lived my life feeling those fences that I've held myself behind. Save me from myself. Save me from forced perfection of another's perception. Save me from a life lived in a box of someone else's dreams. Oh, save me. Oh, save me, yeah. Oh, save me. I do my best to follow my heart's path in this life. Learn from the darkness and seek to dwell in the light. Dwell in the light. But sometimes I still seek the shadows of someone grief. Oh, save me. Save me from myself. Save me from forced perfection of another's perception. Save me from a life lived in a box of someone else's grief. Oh, save me. Oh, save me, yeah. Oh, save me. Oh, save me. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. I'd like to hand off my guitar at this point, if I can unplug it. Is that cool? Okay. Okay. Thank you. And Jeff, if I could hand this off to you? Thank you. I'm going to play my other hard instrument now. I'm lucky enough to have two. Native American flute. I play Native American flute for a little over 10 years now, and I'm self-taught, as I am self-taught on the guitar. Thanks, Jeff. And I call this the instrument that helps you to give voice to your heart. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of this for you. If I could get some more reverb on this, that would be awesome. Okay. Thank you. It's a microphone crisis.
There we go. Got it.
We'll figure it out. Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Now, not many people have seen this type of flute, the Native American flute. I don't know if any of you are really familiar with that type. This is a double barrel flute. This is a modern day adaptation of traditional Native American flute, and this has two sounds that come out of it at once. So I'll play you some of this right now. Thank you. That's actually called the Gathering Song. That one has a name, and that's on a CD that I have. It's called The Night Has Eyes. I have a flute CD and a guitar CD, and I'm going to be working on a new of each pretty soon. So do I have time for one more? Absolutely. Thank you. I'm going to play one more double barrel flute for you. This one's a little different. If any of you are familiar with R. Carlos Nakai, he has one like this made by the same man who made this flute, who happens to be a friend of mine. His name is Eric Marjak. He's from upstate New York. And this came to me as a gift for a ride to a flute competition that I was in a couple of years ago. So let me play another song from the CD called Chasing Butterflies. Thanks so much.
And that's the clips for this month. So once again, we want you to enjoy music and to come down and support your local musicians, your wonderful people who've been hanging out for this year saying, hey man, when are we going to play? Well, the answer is we're going to play pretty soon. We're going to play on July 24th. Cafe Improv is coming back live at 2 p.m. We're going to have 3 hours of music in Heinz Plaza. That's right next to the library in the daytime outside. So come on down and join us and enjoy and clap and hang out and do the music thing. We got great performers. I believe we have Spook Handy who's coming to play. So anyway, we will see you there July 24th. Thanks a lot for joining us, and I'll see you next week on the TV.